All right, good morning or evening or afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to go through and talk about what the expectations are for our fall contact days. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it so that we're all on the same page. First and foremost, just from a calendar standpoint, this will be emailed to the parents, and this will also be put up on Classroom as well as our social media outlets and website page, scnfourthphase.org. Um, we have a full week with different opportunities for the players. Starting September 8th, which is a Tuesday, that's going to be our first fall contact day for all levels starting at 5 p.m. I'll get into arrivals and the logistics. Um, Wednesday, September 9th, is going to be our first day of legacy performance training. Then we go into Thursday, September 10th, will be our second day of fall contact at 5 p.m. And then Friday will be our fall contact day number 3 at 5 p.m. And then Saturday, there'll be the second legacy training day for those who opt into the Saturday training. And then on Sunday, we have our first opportunity with our sport yoga program that is going to be complimentary to the kids on Sunday at 8 a.m. with the parent yoga session following at 9 a.m. at Legacy Performance. So I hope you join us. The goal of this meeting is really to kind of just go over the logistics for our contact days so that everybody understands, what's expected, and, making sure that you all have a good idea of what the protocols are going to be. So, first and foremost, there is a registration that needs to take place. So, all registration needs to be done through Pushcoin, and it is signing up like as if you were to sign up for a camp day, but there is no charge to this camp. It is free of charge. So, once you sign them up, that just gets them registered, and that allows us to have a record of them and take attendance and do the self check ins and all of those other good things that we do from that standpoint. And then, as far as the legacy training goes, we do have a registration for legacy training that has been emailed to the players via Google Classroom, but then also to our emailing list. And you can still be signing up for those throughout the week. We're going to kind of open that up. We want to get as many players as we can in there. Just so we're all on the same page, that is going to be $120 for over 12 weeks of training for at least 2 days, possibly 3 days of training with Coach Bryce Beal, myself, and the rest of the staff. That'll take place at Legacy Performance, and we are actually taking on 60 to 65% of that cost so that we can make that $120 for over 20 sessions, which comes down to, to about $10 per session. Actually, less than that for people who want to use that. And we really are prioritizing the varsity, then sophomores. Our freshmen are going to have a strength and conditioning program that is built into their training. But those freshmen who do want to participate in that training session can still sign up. They will not be told that they cannot do it. So, again, all of those signups will be relayed back to you again tomorrow, which will be Monday. And those can be found available on my Twitter handle at Robert Pomazak, pinned under my profile if you would like to sign up for either of those. So, as far as our first day of camp, all campers start at 5 o'clock. Okay, so I understand that there will be other camps going on at that time. So, this will be for those who are not participating in another camp, just coming directly to us. So, first and foremost, you will have to park in front. I've just denoted this area, but please park out in front, and then you can exit your car, players. And if you're being dropped off, you can exit right at this crosswalk. You'll make your way down that auxiliary road, and then we'll start check-in right here at the emergency gate. Now, when you check in, you should already have had done your student self-check, the same thing that you would do if you were coming to school. It'll give you a green pass or a red fail on your phone. Please bring your smartphone with you so that we can just check that card. Where all we're looking for is a green, we can let you in, a red, we cannot. I would say this: if for some reason you had a red card, don't even bother coming. Okay, if you are exhibiting any symptoms whatsoever, there really should be no reason that you would be coming to a contact day. That is just kind of something that I want to get out there right away. However, if you do come with a red, we will ask that you leave, and we'll have your parent or guardian get called to pick you up. If you drove yourself, players can then get in their car and then head home. For those who come in, we'll check that green pass, we'll let you in, and we'll start admitting you. Now, we will be checking in both freshmen, sophomores, and varsity. Okay, so the way the check-in will work is varsity will check in right here, as well as sophomores. Freshmen, you'll be able to walk along the backside of the D zone, as you can see here, and you guys will be walking yourself around through the gate, past the tennis courts, over to your fields, where then you will have your freshman check-in. Now, for our varsity, as you check in, we again have numbered all of the fencing area around the edge. So you will go to what we are calling our open air locker space. So you will have a 8-foot space that is designated for you to put all of your gear. Okay. Everybody is required to bring their own water bottle. If you have a green band varsity, please bring your green band. Make sure your water bottle is marked. You should be dressing with cleats. You should have shorts, t-shirt, dress appropriately for the weather as we go through the fall, and then make sure you have your helmet at all times with your mouthpiece. So after we get you guys situated in your locker space, then we'll eventually begin practice. We are again going to divide the field into two 45-yard areas. So this will be known as Field 1, from the 45 of the north side of the field all the way to the back of the end zone or the end line. We will then have Field 2, which is going to be from the 45 going south all the way through the back of the end zone. The reason we do this is so that we can enable ourselves to have the necessary 10 yards of space or 30 feet that's required for groups over 50, which we will be. We will be right around 65 total in staff. So we will use this as dead space so that nobody can be in that area, so we don't break any rules. We are going to be using the back where the jump pits are as our secondary dead space. So this is for zone staff and our football operations team only for filming, and an area for us to store equipment when we do our sanitization periods. The D zone will be available, but it will not be available until practice begins. So no player should be in there. This will be used by practice planning only. So we will always have a record of who's doing what in that area. We will have at least 2 sanitization stations set up. I think what we ended up doing was having one on each side of the field. That worked out great, and we had one in the D zone. So we had 3 total, which again, we will have. The locations of these are a little bit different. And the sanitization area is open to all players, personnel, and staff to spray down the football, spray down gear, hand sanitizer, wipes, whatever they may need. We will also be installing some hand washing stations, which I'll get to in a second. The bleachers will be restricted. There should be no parents in at any contact days. It is a closed contact practice, so we don't want anybody there for obvious reasons, but our filming crew can stay there, and that would be by pass only. Our hand washing stations will be available. This is something we ended up not having at the last summer camps, and I just feel like it's best practice for us to do that. So we're currently building hand washing stations for everybody to have in case they need it. We will have restrooms open. The concession area will be the restroom for all players. We will be sending no more than 2 in at a time, and that room is fixed with for social distancing. The closed stalls are over 6 feet apart, and the urinals, there's a middle one that's closed, with leaving only the 2 on the left, and one on the left and one on the right, which means that there's over 6 feet. And again, there's another hand washing station in there. When we exit practice and practice is over, it is going to be mandatory that players pick up their gear from their open area locker and they walk out through what we will call the concessions auxiliary road, and then they exit out through the building that way. There will be another practice starting at 7 o'clock, so we do not want to have those 2 teams passing each other, just to create a socially safe atmosphere. Obviously, that's our first and foremost. For our lower levels, both lower levels, sophomore and varsity, sophomore and freshman, will be out on the far west side of the grounds, and this particular area will be the open locker area. We call this the 80-yard field. The 80-yard field will then be broken up into numbers, hash, goalpost, hash, numbers, sideline, for kids to put their stuff. So there will be over 5 yards of space between kids, and that's, again, where they can go when they are starting practice, prior to practice, I should say. We don't want students congregating next to each other, as we want to keep that as limited as possible. We will have a portable hand washing station out there for that group, as well as a sanitization station. This is a great look of the grounds, so I'll just go through this. We call this field the far west field. This is the open grid to the west of that, and then we have the south west field that we will be rotating both the soft and the frosh on. Okay, now again, when we exit, we want all players to be exiting from that field. They can exit through the gate that will be open by the concession area. That will be the only gate that we have open at that time. That'll be for entrance and exit. And then they can walk through the auxiliary road around the side of the building to their parents or to their car, depending on if they drive or not. And then again, if there's any questions on equipment, we will be staging early equipment issues before practices over at the equipment area, which is also the concession stand. So that kind of looks at the logistics of everything that we're going to do. Again, we are trying to keep things as socially safe as possible. All players must be wearing a mask. Okay, and I'll get into that in a second. I do have some protocols. Okay. All players must be wearing a mask unless they can maintain a socially distant space of 6 feet, which there will be times when we can do that, and there will be times that we cannot do that. And we will always err on the side of caution. So we are going to be asking players to have their masks on for all segments until they are told otherwise. Now, gaiters are allowed. Obviously, surgical masks are allowed. Both are okay for them to be wearing. As far as if you have a face mask shield, that is also acceptable, so that we can have just the face covered. Just so you're aware of what our parameters are going to be, we are in 20 days of contact between September 7th and October 31st. We are considered a high-risk sport, along with wrestling, lacrosse, competitive cheer, and competitive dance, which puts us in what they would say is level 1 of the contact phasing, which means we are not able to do any type of contact body to body. So here's what this looks like. You get your 20 days of contact. We can participate in ball drills, handoff drills, passing drills. We can't hit the sleds. We can't hit the tackling pads. We can't hit the dummies. We can't use rings, and we can't hit shields. We can run plays against air. We can use the garbage cans, and we can also use stand-up dummies. We can also use our players holding shields. What we cannot do is have 7-on-7, 11-on-11, 5-on-5, 1-on-1, body-to-body contact. So that will not be occurring during our 20 contact days. We can wear helmets and shoulder pads, but we will be exercising the IHSA acclimatization period, starting with 2 days of helmets, and on the third day we will add shoulder pads. That'll be for all levels, with the exception of our freshmen, who will be getting helmets after their first practice. That's just talking about what we're doing. As far as 7-on-7 goes, that is considered a medium risk sport. We will be working on getting permission slips so that parents can sign off on if they want their son or daughter to be able to do 7-on-7. We are not there at this time, so please do not worry about that. At this point, there will not be any 7-on-7. Again, all coaches will be wearing masks at all time. We are trying to create a very safe environment for everybody. If you are looking to find any of our information, I suggest you go to SENfourthphase.org. That would be the first place to look, because that always has up-to-date information. I update it every Sunday night, so I'll be updating it again tonight. And you can see that it has a place for our schedule, which will have our calendar. You can also look at the homepage, which is usually where I have everything. I'll write a family newsletter every single week that has all of our information and live links. You can see this has our contact day schedule. You can see the information of performance training, sign up for our players. Our legacy sign up can be found there. So again, before you email questions, which I always encourage you to do, I don't want you to feel like you cannot do that. I would say check our SEN Fourth Phase website, because that is a one-stop shop for everything that is St. Charles North football. If you don't find the information you're looking for there, please do not hesitate to email me at robert.pomazak@d303.org, and I would be happy to get back to you. But please allow me 24 hours to get back to you, as I do tend to get quite a bit of emails throughout the day, and I only have 2 times during the day where I'll be replying to emails: in the mornings between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., and then in the evenings after 8:30. So those are the 2 times that I get back to emails. Well, I appreciate you listening to this. I cannot wait to see your sons or daughter at our camp day. We're going to try to give them the best experience we possibly can, and it should be a lot of fun. Thank you very much.